In 1975, my brother Howard recorded an interview with our grandfather, Ralph Gladstone, about our family history. Grandpa's father was born in Poland and came to England as a young man. There he met his wife. And there Ralph was born in East End of London in the year 1895. Ralph was 80 years old when he spoke with Howard.
Now look, I'm going back about 70 years over that. I wasn't even 10 years old when this was happening. All I can tell you is my father, may he rest in peace, was an orphan.
What was his name?
It was very complicated. First it started out to be Glickstein, then it was Gladstone, then it became Gladstone, and another one. Things were very bad in London, England, where we lived. So we went to the States. We managed to save enough money to go over steerage. It would have been about 1907. We stayed in the States till 1911. Brooklyn, New York. When I first come to Canada in 1911, we lived in Maria Street for about 6 months. I didn't know my way around here. I didn't know nothing about Toronto. I had to get someone to show me downtown, how to get downtown, to look for a job or do something. When I come here, this was one of those English countries. Any Cohen or a Stein or a Berg, you're a dead person, especially being Jewish.
Yeah, of course.
It was strictly British. I'd look nice going into a print shop and say my name is Raphael Glickstein or Glickstein, and every place I go, the minute I use the word Glickstein, nothing today. I mean, nothing today. And I says, this ain't going to do no good. I know my English is pretty good. They started calling me Gladstone. You see, it come about, and I says, what the hell's going on here? So I says, from now on, the name is going to be Gladstone. And that's all there's to it. I don't think there was one in the book yet, in the telephone book. And every place I went, that's what it had to be. Ralph Gladstone, that's my name. On the 24th of May, I met her over at the island. They used to have dances there. We had a nice evening. I took her home, and the minute she got off the streetcar at Bloor and Shaw, she ran like hell and ran right in the house.
Ralph and Dora were married on February 11, 1917. My father, Russell, born 1918, was the eldest of their 9 children. Then came Henry, Irving, Benny, Rose, Gerald, David, Joseph, and Lenny. These are a few relics of a printing company that Ralph operated around 1918.
When I first went with my wife, I think I was making $7 a week. I was working for a firm that made stationery. I used to feed one of those little presses. That wasn't bad. I stayed there for quite a while. I think I got married out of there. These people folded up. So I get a job in the Southern Press. I got promoted and put on the 2 color machines. That's what they done the catalogs. Catalog season runs for 3 months, but you put in a lot of overtime. After that, everybody got let out. I was new at the game, so I used to pack up and go to Chicago. There you can always find a feeder's job. Used to stay 4 or 5 weeks, and then I'd come back and start looking around. And by that time, I was getting pretty close to catalog time again. See, but between the two, I finally made a living. I've been to New York, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Cleveland, all in looking for work. And as it happens, I always managed to find a job. It kept us going. I wouldn't say we had a tough life, but it was just an ordinary life. I was in the Pogey once, and you know what they sent us home? Some rotten, old, stale, moldy oatmeal. And when I brought it home, my wife threw it out. We wouldn't eat that. There was a time we lived on Claremont Street. My wife over shoulder says to me, you know what? The kid says, can't we have something a little different than bread and whatever she was giving them? Boy, did that shake me. Well, I went out of the house that day, and after that day, things started to change around a little bit. I managed to get in with some guy. There was a card sheet, and we was hustling around where we could pick up a few dollars. Cheating or not cheating, I didn't give a damn no more. And after that, I brought home a few dollars. Wasn't a hell of a lot, but who had money those days? And between that and getting kicked around from one place to another, moving around, we finally managed to get to 168 Robert Street. Is that right?
Ralph and Dora and family moved into 165 Robert Street about 1941 and stayed there for the next 25 years approximately. But before then, as these school records show, the family moved from one address to another over the years. Harris and Sarah lived at 19 Eden Place. There were a few occasions when the Gladstones lived there too.
Tell us about your parents. What kind of people were they?
My father was a very, if you think I was tough, he was a very hard man. Like myself, he was a hard-working man. All he knew, he had to make a living. Some of the stories I can tell you that he told me when they first got to New York would make your hair stand. I'll tell you one story of these sweatshops in the tailoring business in those days. There were so many machines, and the first ones that come in and got the machines worked. And my dad, over shoulder, told me that he used to get up in the cold winter mornings, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and sneak up the fire escapes to get in there and get a machine. And it was all piecework. You had to work like a so-and-so to make ends meet. And that's how he made a living. And like every other young kid, while he was working, I tried to get a job too. But as it happened, I met with an accident. And it left me with a cut that required about 20 stitches right alongside the ear. And they stitched me up in the drugstore. And the blood was all over the place.
How did the accident happen?
I left the house one evening, and there was a crazy argument. In Brooklyn, they used to have little cliques hang around one particular corner, and I got cut, a knife wound, and that's injured one of my nerves there. You see, that gives that kind of partial paralysis. See, I can't wrinkle my forehead. See, it only goes halfway. It was either stitched while they were stitching it, or it was just touched when the knife went in there. And it was a hard grind for me. Oh, I don't think I should go any further into my life's history, because I had a very hard life. I had to fight for every little thing I got. I mean struggle and really muscle my way through life. I never went through life like a normal human being. I had to muscle my way.
Harris had been born in Poland in 1872, the youngest child of elderly parents. His father was 62 and his mother 45. After the father died, 4 of the children and their widowed mother immigrated to London. Harris married Sarah Schweitzer, a London native, in 1894.
What was your mother like?
Now that's a very difficult question. When a woman marries a man, all her attentions are supposed to be around this particular man. He's the breadwinner, and of course, don't forget, this is years ago. We're going back to the olden times, not the modern times.
Mm-hmm.
And we were treated like children, and I guess we got our lumps. I guess we were bad kids, like every other kid. But I suppose I took it for normal. I mean, I took it for granted that.
You once told me a little bit about this, and I'd like to ask you about this again. I want to know about Dora's parents and what you know about Dora's family.
There's one exceptional good picture of the two of them. He's standing straight with his morning jacket on, in the olden days, and she's a little bit of a thing. She's sitting in the chair. I think she was born either in Austria or Vienna, one of these.
Who was?
That's Dora's mother. Her father, I don't know nothing about him.
Dora's father came from somewhere near Silesia, a part of Prussia. Her mother from somewhere in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. They met in London, England in the late 1870s and were married in 1880. They had 2 children in London, then moved to Bristol, England, and had many more.
I know he was a master tailor. He brought up a large family.
Well, what were their names?
Alexander, that's how he got that Alexander, I don't know. I think his name was Dave. And I think they had about 7 girls. Sophie was the baby. After Sophie, maybe it was Dora. Then there was Lily, Sam Lester's wife. And there's Ray Cohen. Fanny Kendall. As far as the boys are concerned, Becky, that's right, Becky Alexander. Forgot her. And she also married an Alexander. The other one was Sarah. She married a Gentile fellow. Then, as far as the boys were concerned, Abe, but he called himself Harry, but Jack.
Ralph mentioned 7 Alexander daughters, but forgot Etty Harris and Janie Lester. As for the boys, he named Abe and Jack, but forgot Nate and Isaac. After an hour of conversation, the floodgates of his memory seemed to open, but he was growing tired.
Oh my God. Have I got stories to tell you? Oh, Christ. Look, I've been speaking for... I think we'll have to cut it off for a while and let it go for a while, and we can always pick this up some other time.
Okay.
In March, the Gladstones threw a party for Ralph's 80th birthday. Howard brought his tape recorder, but Ralph didn't have much to say. He died 3 years later.
I'll see you in my dreams. Hold you in my dreams. Someone took you out of my arms. Still I feel the thrill of your charms. Lips that once were mine. Tender eyes that shine. They will light my way tonight. I'll see you in my dream. Lips that once were mine. Tender eyes that shine. They will light my way tonight. Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.